What's up, guys? It's Brandon the Hybrid Guy, and today we're going to talk about how to light your appliances and a little bit about the propane system on your RV. So we're going to start up here at the propane tanks. You have two knobs on the top, and these are how you open the tanks. Right here in the center is your pressure regulator. So this will regulate the pressure. Your pressure inside your camper should be anywhere between 11 and 13. I believe it's inches of water is the measurement it's taken. And if you have weird issues with appliances coming on or off, or coming on and then not staying on, you may want to have your propane checked. It's not something you want to do yourself, something you're going to want to call a mobile tech for. But anyway, that's if you have an issue. But this is a dual regulator. This is an auto switchover regulator, excuse me. But you can actually manually turn it to which side you want it to pull propane from. So some of you will have a dual, if you have dual tanks, an auto switchover. Some do not have an auto switchover, but this one it is, and that's how it works. So first you're going to start by opening up your propane, and I'm using this left tank here. Okay. And we're going to go inside the RV. Now, there's a couple systems in your RV that use propane. You have your stove, your oven, you have your hot water heater, and then you have your refrigerator. Now, what you need to do first, especially if the camper's been sitting for a few days, is you need to purge the air out of the propane lines. And how you're going to do that is with the stove. This is an Atwood stove. This one has an auto ignite. If you don't have an auto ignite, then you're going to use a lighter to do this. However, we're going to turn a burner on, and we're going to click the starter until it ignites. There we go. Now, so you have a nice good blue flame. We have essentially purged the air out of the propane lines. So now there's propane going up to all the systems in the camper. So we can go ahead and shut the stove off. That step one is done. So the first thing we're going to do is how to light your oven, because I know a lot of people don't use it or don't know how to light it. This won't apply if you have a camper that was built 2019, 2020 and above. They do actually auto light now, but you're going to go ahead and you're going to need one of these long lighters to light your oven. So we're going to start off by opening it up. Okay, and if you look right here on this knob, it says pilot. This is how you light your pilot lights. You're going to push in and turn it there. All right, so what we have to do, and I have to put the camera down for this. If you look up, let me turn the flash on here. Inside of the oven, you can see a copper tube sticking out right here, this middle one. You see it as an opening in the top. That's the pilot. That's where the gas actually comes out. So I'm gonna have to put the camera down for a second. Excuse me here. Sorry for the messed up video. Okay, what you want to do is you're going to go ahead and hold in the knob. And then you want to light that spot. You can see there's a blue flame there. After about 10 to 15 seconds, you can release the knob and the pilot light will stay on. Now, you can leave this on the entire time you're camping. I choose not to. It's a waste of propane, and it's not that hard to light it. So after it's been on for a few seconds and the flame stays on, you can go ahead and turn it to the temperature that you want. And there you go. It will light the entire burner. There's one side, there's the other. And now your oven's on. Set it to the temperature you want, and you're good to go. To shut it off, you just simply turn that oven knob back to off. And the entire system goes out. And that is how you light your oven. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is the hot water heater. So I explained this a little bit more in my other video, but we're going to actually show you now. Like I said, if you don't have water in your tank, you don't want to have this on that long, because you can burn it up. But just to start it, you can fire it up for a few seconds. So I'm going to show you guys what happens in the ignition process. All you do is go inside with a DSI hot water heater, and you're going to go ahead and flip it on. You're going to see the red light come on. Outside, the gas knob's going to open up, the igniter's going to tick, and once there's ignition, the red light will shut off. That is how you know that your hot water heater is on and functioning properly. So I'm going to try to flip this switch and I'm gonna run out there quick so you can see. So excuse the jumbling of the camera. But here you can see the red light on. You can hear the igniter clicking, and boom, we have ignition. And right now, see that does sound a little loud because there's some wind and the door is open, so you're getting that a little bit of a jet engine effect, but after a few seconds that will calm down. And that's all you have to do to light your hot water heater. You just, again, want to make sure that you have water in your tank, and then to shut it off, you just go ahead and you flip it off. Now that hot water heater will cycle. That's the point of its thermostat built in. So it will get up to the proper 180, 190 degrees, and then it will shut off. As the water temperature drops, it will come back on. It will get your temperature back up to where it needs to be, and then it'll shut off again. So there's nothing you have to do besides flip it on for the first time. And that is how we light our hot water heater. We're gonna go to our furnace now. This one's pretty simple. This is an Atwood furnace. So if you notice here at the bottom, you have your temperature adjustment, okay? This is how you adjust the temperature and where you want it inside the RV. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that there is an actual on switch. Now, some of them will have them down here on the bottom where the thermostat adjustment is up top. So a lot of people miss that. So you have to have the temperature higher than the ambient temperature. So right now it's actually pretty hot out today. It's 85 degrees in here. So I have the cranked all the way up just so you can hear. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna flip this switch on. The switch is very hard. You pull it to the left. You're not gonna break it. I know it feels like it. You just wanna give it a little bit of balls there and it will click on. All right, so now we can hear that the blower motor has started up. And the way this works is it has what's called a sail switch. First, the fan will come on and it will spin the sail switch. It will build up some RPM. It will send that RPM signal back to the computer inside here. Then it will open the gas valve and it will ignite, as you just heard it. So that's a simple issue that does go wrong with these heaters quite often, is that sail switch. If it doesn't sense that fan blowing, it will not kick on the gas or ignite. And the reason for that is a safety feature, so that way there's not a flame just blowing inside of this thing with no airflow across it, which could cause a fire. That sail switch is very easy to replace and it is very cheap. So right now this thing's gonna blow hot and this is gonna work the same way as your house. Whatever temperature it's set to, it's gonna come on and off, excuse me, as it's needed. Now when we go to the shutdown process, essentially the same thing is gonna happen. It has a built-in safety feature that is a cooldown. So when we're gonna go ahead up here and we're gonna shut this off, you'll actually be able to hear the flame turn off if you listen carefully. You can hear the thump, and the furnace has shut off. Now, essentially what's on right now is just the blower. And what this does is it allows it to cool the unit down before the fan will actually shut off. That'll stay on for 30 to 40 seconds, maybe a minute, and then it will shut off. And that's all it takes to light your furnace. Now, the last appliance we're going to get to is the refrigerator. I have a big Dometic. Some of you will just have a smaller, like 6 cubic foot. This is an 8.7 cubic foot, cubic inch, excuse me, with a separate freezer. So the way to light these is actually pretty simple. These are automatic and they're automatic temperature controlled. So there's a switch up under here that a lot of people don't know about. It's an on and off switch, which is the climate control switch. Okay, so that has to be on. It's like the master switch. Then we're going to come over to here and you have 2 buttons. You have on off and then you have auto, gas, and check. So this button is what decides if you run the fridge on electric or if you run it on propane. And again, this is a cool thing. In case you have electric out in the campground or at your house, it will auto switch over to propane. So that way, everything in the fridge still stays cold. So it's simple. If you can see here, the raised divot, that means the button out is in gas mode and in is in auto. So when it's in auto, the auto light will come on. When it's out in gas, there is no light. All right, that's how that works. Again, same thing with the on and off button. So in is off, and if you press it so that the button comes out, it's off. If you press it in, it is on. Then you have your check light. So what this will do is essentially the same thing as the hot water heater. It's almost like a check engine light in your car. When you go to light this on gas, it will go through a same ignition process as your hot water heater, essentially. And if you don't have gas flow to the refrigerator, hence why we light the stove first, it will try to ignite 2 or 3 times, and then the check light will come on, meaning that there is no propane or the ignition process has failed. You could also have a clogged burner, very easy to clean out. And those are a couple simple issues you can do to light your refrigerator. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to demonstrate this. It's nothing you're going to be able to hear. These are very, very quiet, and they also only sip propane. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in gas mode, okay? So I'm going to have the button out, and I'm going to go ahead and press on. The check light is going to come on and then go off. So what's going to happen right now is it is going to go through its ignition process. Now, if you listen, you can hear the igniter clicking. And there it is. I can hear the propane. I know you guys can't, but it has lit. And that's all it takes to light your fridge on propane. These refrigerators, actually, a misconception, do get cold pretty fast. I just checked it in about 40 to 50 degree temps. My last camping trip, this fridge got fully cold in, believe it or not, about 4 hours. Something handy you can get yourself is a thermometer. So you can 100% tell, what temperature is supposed to be in the refrigerator and what temperature it is supposed to be in the refrigerator to make sure that your food stays safe. The light inside of the fridge will also only come on when the refrigerator itself is actually on. And to go ahead and shut it off, all we're going to do is press the off button and the whole system shuts down. And that's all it takes to light the main appliances in your RV or anything that has to do with propane. The microwave, I'm pretty sure everyone can handle. The AC, I'm not plugged into shore power right now, but same thing. On the right side, you have fan, low, medium, and high. That's just it turning on as a fan without the compressor. Then you have your actual AC compressor, low, medium, and high speeds. Over here is your temperature control. And if you listen carefully, no, you can't hear it on here. It's because it's so hot. You'll actually be able to hear the tick of the thermostat. So what that'll do is this is how you adjust your temperature. The same thing as essentially the adjustment for your heat. It's a thermostat. And that's all you have to do to light your AC. And your AC will go obviously only on 110 volts, and it will cycle on and off as needed. You can set the fan speed to low, medium, or high, and then this is how you adjust your actual temperature. And again, the ambient temperature has to be above 60 degrees or the compressor will not turn on. It's something a lot of people don't know. So if you're buying an RV in the wintertime and you want to be able to test the AC, here's a trick. Go ahead and turn the furnace on and let it get nice and hot in here, up to like 75, 80 degrees, and shut your furnace off, and then you can go ahead and crank the AC on. Then it will be hot enough in here that the AC thinks it's hot outside, and it will actually kick the compressor on. So if you walk into this RV and it's 40 or 50 degrees outside and you try to turn the AC on, it's not going to turn on. So those are a few tips and tricks on how to light your appliances, how to purge your propane lines. I hope this helped. If it did, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. And of course, at the end of your camping trip, do not forget to go ahead and close your propane down. And that's all it takes, guys. Again, I'm Brandon the Hybrid Guy. Have a good day.